Hi, my name is Janet Costa Bates, and I'm grateful to the folks at We Need Diverse Books for the opportunity to help you prepare for your internship search. I'm a children's book author. Seaside Dream was published by Lee and Low, illustrated by Lambert Davis. And Time for Bed Old House was published by Candlewick, released just this past September, and illustrated by A.G. Ford. I'm also a career coach for college students. Helping to prepare people for success is what I do, and I love it when my worlds collide. Some of you might be just starting your resume, while others of you might have a decent copy that you're trying to improve. In either case, this will be helpful for you. In addition to resumes, I'll talk briefly about cover letters and interview tips. After that, I'll talk more about what you should be doing that will have even more of an impact than a good resume or a solid interview. We'll start with the most important part of the internship search, and that's you. In a moment, I want you to pause the video to write out your answers to a few questions. This information is just for you, so don't worry about how it sounds. Just right. Okay, first, who are you? What interests you? What's important to you? What do you love to do? And does any of that relate to your career interests? If so, how? Also, what do you want potential employers to think of when they think of you? List your strengths, your skills, and your personal qualities. Describe the unique value that you can bring to an employer. Pause for as long as you need. When you're done, hit play. Okay, I'm going to ask you to take what you wrote and put it aside for a moment. We're going to get back to it. In the meantime, let's talk about the basics of a resume. It needs to, of course, be neatly formatted, and we'll talk about formatting options a little bit later. It needs to be free of errors, especially since you're looking at a position in publishing. So get some eyes on it. Have your friends or classmates look at it. Go over to your career center and have it critiqued. Your resume will typically be in reverse chronological order by section. So the things that are most recent should be first in each section. Very importantly, your resume needs to be truthful. Truthful means that you're not saying that you can or have done something if you can't or haven't. But truthful also means speaking strongly to your skills and talents instead of downplaying them. If you do something well, I want you to be confident and clear about saying that you do it well. I want you to own your glory. It does no one any good to downplay your skills, because then the employer might not hire you. They might hire the next person who might be the second best for the job when you were the best. That does no one any good at all. So own your glory. Resume sections. First section is going to include your contact information. Your name, email, and phone are not optional. Those will always need to be on your resume. You will most likely include a physical address, but you don't always have to, especially if you're relocating. You can also include your LinkedIn URL. It gives employers another place to go to find out a little bit more about you. I am going to recommend that your next section be a summary of some sort. You can call it summary, profile, qualifications, whatever you'd like to call it. But it's an opportunity to create a first impression. You'll include maybe 3 to 4 bullet statements or a short paragraph talking about your skills and your experiences as they relate to what an employer is looking for. It's an optional section, so if you're not ready to write it, don't worry about it. But I would put some thought to it because it really can create that strong first impression. Since most of you are students, your education section should be next. Indicate your school, your degree, your year of graduation, and anything else you feel is pertinent. Next comes your experience section, both paid and unpaid experience. An experience can be one long section, and if that works for you, that's fine. Again, typically in reverse chronological order, but sometimes experience can be broken down into separate sections to be more effective. This allows you to take things out of reverse chronological order and highlight what's most relevant. So instead of just one experience section, You can break it down using headings like related experience and additional experience. In related, you put anything that's pertinent to the position you're seeking, and then the other things that aren't quite as related go into additional. But related is on top. They see it first. You can even get more specific than just a general related experience section. If you've had publishing experience before, you might put publishing experience or communications experience. Again, whatever is relevant for you. Other headings might be internships, leadership experience, campus community involvement, volunteer experience. That's just a sampling of the possibilities. Use whatever works for you. You might also have some sections on your resume for languages, skills, travel. The possibilities are endless. Do some searching, look at some samples, see what people have used in the past that would make sense for you to use. Now here's the part that will help your resume to stand out. The part that's going to turn your good resume into a great resume. We're going to focus on writing a high impact resume. I see a lot of resumes that look good, sound good, but say very little. And that's because most people tend to focus on the format or the wording of a resume, and they lose the heart and soul of their experience. I have literally in my career seen thousands and thousands of resumes. I want yours to stand out. So in a moment, I'm going to ask you to pause the video again. When you do that, you're going to make a list of all of your experiences. And you're going to open up a blank working document. Free write the following without regard to wording, length, or format. This information is just for you. I really don't care how it sounds. Just get the words down. A blank document, piece of paper, I don't care how you do it. I want you to answer the following questions for each experience. What did you do? How did you do it? Meaning, what tools or methods did you use? What skills, apps, software, etc. How well did you do it? This one is key. What are the indications of your successes? What are the results of what you did? What kind of feedback did you get from a supervisor or a customer or client or maybe a coworker? What were your accomplishments? What kind of recognition did you get, either formal or informal? Next, what did you learn by doing it? What did you learn firsthand by actually doing something? And what did you learn through observation? What skills or knowledge did you gain or improve? After that, I want you to think about opportunities for quantifying. Indicate a number or percentage, but only when it will add impact or perspective. So think about how much of something did you do, or for how many. I want you to pause again and write. When you're ready, hit play. I hope that was helpful. Now let's work on transferring that information to your resume. Decide on a resume format you believe will work well for you and your experience. You can use a template if you really want to, but a blank document will always give you the most flexibility. But to make it easier, look at some of the templates for some ideas. Make sure that the format you choose is clear and easy to skim. Employers often spend 30 seconds or less reading a resume, sometimes much less. You have unlimited options for format. Choose one that's easy to read and works for you. Simple and direct is often the best way to go. A one-column resume is much easier to skim. Keep in mind, when we read a resume, we read from top to bottom and left to right. So what's in the upper left quadrant of your resume is the expensive real estate. If you choose to do 2 columns, because there are some good 2-column resumes out there, but if you choose to do a 2-column one, make the left column your bigger and most robust column and use a slimmer right-hand column for secondary information. That way, if they only skim the left side, which is very possible, they know all the information that they absolutely have to know. Again, because we read from left to right, bullet points are recommended over paragraphs. I want you to take a look at the information from your free writing exercise and decide what's most applicable to employers that you'll be contacting for this version of your resume, and transfer that information to what will be your actual resume. You're not yet worried about length. You're just moving over the pertinent information. Then you're going to start working on some polish. Delete any unnecessary words. Avoid fillers like responsible for. Avoid I statements. Get right to the action so that I scooped ice cream becomes scooped ice cream. Be sure to make sure you're getting to the heart of what's important, however. It's probably not as important that you scooped ice cream as maybe you trained new employees or opened and closed the ice cream shop. Maybe you help to increase the customer base through marketing, social media. Think about the important things to transfer over. Sometimes they're not your most basic tasks that you'll be talking about most. And you might want to use an online thesaurus to help you really polish your wording. What is the best word to use? Oftentimes you can find one word that can replace a phrase and save you some space. Okay, but length is the last thing you're going to focus on. When you transfer information over, I don't care if it's 1, 2, 3 pages. Transfer anything you think is pertinent. And then go through again as you're doing the polishing and the rewording, you're going to save some space. Then look at how much you have going on over that page. Ideally, at this stage in your career, you should have a 1-page resume. 2 is acceptable in some cases. However, you still only are going to get that 30 seconds or less for that first read through. So 1 strong page is recommended. The less said, the more read. Consider what's most important for this version of your resume, and then expand in the areas that offer the most impact. It's okay to have one experience that's far longer than another experience. Then you want to go through the space-saving measurements. So condense or combine statements when you don't need as much detail. Delete information that does not need to be on your resume. And I'll admit, this is a hard one to do. You've done something. You feel like you did it well. You're proud of it. But maybe it doesn't really relate to what the employer wants. It's hard to take out, but you need to. I actually recommend doing an autobiographical resume in which you keep everything. Put everything on it, never take anything off. But this version is for you. It's not the version you share with the world. The version you send to employers should be read through their eyes. What will they most want to know about you and your experience? You're going to continually tweak, improve, and update your resume. Make sure you're getting it looked at different stages. If you're looking at a few different types of careers, write out versions of your resume specifically for each type. If you're looking at 2 or maybe 3 different distinct career fields, you might have 2 or 3 resumes, versions of your resume. If you realize you have numerous versions of your resume, you likely haven't narrowed your search enough. Again, go back to the career center at your school and talk to someone who will kind of help you sort out your thoughts and prioritize your options. When you're ready to start applying, in most cases, you will send or upload your resume as a PDF. And be sure you name that resume with some version of your name. Your last name or first initial last name, full name, however you want to do it is fine. What happens though is that many people will name it with a place that they're sending it to, which I understand. You want to know that this version of my resume is going here. But if you do that, what happens is, for example, if you name it Lee and Low and send it to Lee and Low, then the folks at Lee and Low end up with a ton of resumes named Lee and Low. They won't know which one is from you. And your resume is going to be amazing, I have no doubt, so you absolutely want them to know which one is yours. Your resume will very often need to be accompanied by a cover letter. I want you to Google cover letter samples for format or check cover letter templates so we don't have to review formatting details here. Refer to the writing exercises that you did previously in this workshop when you write your cover letter. What's most important for this employer in particular to know about you? Quick overview. A cover letter demonstrates your writing skills and professionalism. It shows your knowledge of both the career field and the employer, and it reflects your sincere and interest and enthusiasm for the job. The introductory paragraph, your first paragraph, who are you and why are you writing? If you have previous experience that's going to catch their eye, mention it. If someone referred you, use their name as a lead-in. So-and-so suggested that I contact you. Name dropping can get your cover letter read. The body of the cover letter is typically 1 to 2 paragraphs. Refer to your skills, previous job experience, campus and/or academic experience to show a match between you, the job, and the employer. Highlight a few achievements that relate directly or even indirectly to the position and field. The closing paragraph, thank the reader for his or her time and consideration. Indicate your desire for an interview. I would love the opportunity to interview with you. Something that strong. Now let's say you did a great job on your resume and your cover letter, and I know you will, so you end up getting selected for a few interviews. Sometimes people get a little nervous about interviews, and that's normal. It means you're human. But an interview is actually your opportunity to shine. The first thing I want you to do is to look at the writing exercises you did earlier in this workshop. Make note of the top skills, strengths, and experiences that you want to discuss in an interview. Practice. We'll put some questions up, potential questions that you might be asked. When you practice them, I want you to be clear and confident about your strengths and skills. Practice answers to these potential questions out loud. Out loud. Practice with a friend, practice in front of a mirror, video yourself on your phone, however you'd like to do it. You can do a virtual practice at many schools using a practice platform like Interview Stream or Big Interview. I want you to use brief examples of your experiences to back up your skills. Give them something to help believe what you're saying. And this bears repeating. Be clear and confident about your strengths and skills. Remember what I said earlier in this workshop about owning your glory. You do it well, you're going to say that you do it well. I also want you to dress appropriately for the interview. Find out from people who are already working in the field what's appropriate interview attire for this particular type of job. Use this style of dress for both in-person and virtual interviews. And when in doubt, dress a little bit up, not down. You're going to get directions and arrive early for in-person interviews. You're going to get good physical directions, not only to the building, but also what you do once you are inside of the building. Plan to arrive about a half hour early to the general location, but don't show up to the actual interview until about 5 to 10 minutes beforehand. Otherwise, they don't know what to do with you, and these are busy people. But you want to be close by so that you don't run into any unexpected obstacles. For virtual interviews, which many interviews are going to be at this point, make sure you have the link ahead of time and that you have it handy the day of. Have everything prepared and set up well before the interview. What does your backdrop look like for a virtual interview? Test out your mic, test out your video, know what kind of platform you're going to be using. For your actual interview day, take a deep breath and know you got this. After the interview, you're going to send some thank you notes, reiterating your interest in the position. Also, keep searching for another position until you accept an offer. What's more important and powerful than resumes, cover letters, and interviews? Well, first, know yourself. What do you most want? What are your greatest skills and talents? And where are those skills and talents needed? Second, become knowledgeable in the field of publishing. Do some reading, some research. Bookjobs.com will be a great place to start. And then network. Network, network, network. Some of you are introverts. You hate the idea of networking. And I'm a fellow introvert, so I understand how hard it can be. I understand how much you probably dislike it. But you know what? I don't care. Network anyway. It's that important. Talk to people in different aspects of publishing. To find people, start with your own contacts. Check with people you know, professors, family, classmates, siblings, or parents of classmates, etc. And then find out who they know that they're able to put you in touch with. LinkedIn can be an invaluable resource, and your school will most likely has a profile page on LinkedIn where you can find alumni of the school. You can also check with your career center to find out about other ways to be in touch with graduates of your school that work in publishing. And then set up informational meetings, most of which at this point are going to be virtual, for better or worse. Be prepared with questions such as, how did they get into the field? What was their first job? What do they like about what they do? What would they change if they could? What are the current trends in the field? What's changing and what's driving those changes? And make sure you're knowledgeable about diversity in publishing. Be familiar with the Mirror, Windows, and Sliding Glass Doors essay written by Rudine Sims Bishop in 1990. It's still relevant. Also, look up the Diversity Baseline Survey done by Lee and Low Books. Your research and conversations will eventually help you to become knowledgeable about the field of publishing, and you'll start to sound more like a colleague than an applicant. When people are impressed by your questions, by your knowledge, and how you present yourself, they are more willing to share potential job leads. Your resume and your cover letter become simply the necessary documentation, because more important than those documents, they'll know you and your work. Interviews become more like conversations, and that's the best kind of job or internship search technique that I can share with you. Network. I want to give a big thank you to We Need Diverse Books for all the work that they do and for providing a platform for me to assist you in your internship search. The world needs more diversity in publishing. The world needs you. I wish you all the best in finding a great internship. You got this.